Welcome back to another episode of the Natty Teacher. I am, of course, your host. Who else but the Natty Teacher? I'm trying to make some adjustments here. And today we have our second pull session of the week. Okay, excited. It's a great one. This is a fun workout. I really enjoyed this workout for sure. There's only one thing that is kind of a negative. If you guys watched my previous upload, I was talking about how my right sinus was like super inflamed. Like I felt pretty much fine, but my right sinus was like really inflamed and red. Well, turns out I do think I have just like a cold, or maybe some kind of like sinus infection or something like that. Yeah, just felt it coming on yesterday, late last night. It was one of those things where you're kind of just like, I was a little, feeling a little iffy, and then all of a sudden started like, my nose just started running, and I was like, oh boy. So got some good sleep though, so that was good. Got some good sleep. I got a couple meals in me right now, a little over 2 liters of water. So I am raring and ready to go. The nice thing is, and this is just a general recommendation for you guys, and I'm going to use this as kind of my little natty rant, within my intro here. And, the topic being training when you're sick. I've talked about this in a previous video before, I believe, but I'll bring it back up now. There are a couple rules I would live by when it comes to training while you are sick, or if you're sick. And the first one is the most simple. The first one is the most basic one. If you have something that is, we'll call it from the neck up. So from here up, okay? And from here down feels completely fine, you're probably good to train. Obviously, you should be doing this anyways, but keep your distance from people in the gym if you're working out in a public gym. Clean stuff off, all that kind of stuff. Don't go to the gym not feeling great and then not clean anything or whatever. You should be cleaning even when you feel great. That's just rude not to, but especially when you're not feeling good, make sure you're really cleaning down handles and benches and maybe even dumbbells. If you're touching them and not feeling your best. So that would a courtesy thing there. But I definitely will say, if it's just something from the neck up where you got a little sinusy, little congestion, maybe a little headache or whatever, but you don't have a fever and you don't feel bad, you're still able to eat and be hydrated and all that, there's no reason you can't go in and get a good workout in. You might not be breaking PRs every set or something like that, but there's definitely no reason you can't go get a good workout in. On the flip side, if it is something what we'll call from the neck down, and maybe even including symptoms from the neck up, so you have a fever, you have body chills, you have body aches, you feel weak, you feel nauseous, you've been getting sick, whatever it is, your gut is in a really bad spot and you're not able to eat food or hold stuff down. Yeah, in those cases, absolutely, I would stay home until that gets remediated. It could be a day, if it's a 24-hour thing, it could be a couple days, you know what I mean? But until you can actually fuel your body properly and get enough rest and recovery to move forward, all you're gonna do is hinder your progress if you try to work out. And of course, those kind of things usually spread very easily as well. We don't want to do that to other people. I mean, anything can spread. That's why it's so important to clean your stuff. But regardless, we don't want to do that. Now, as weird as it may sound, I actually don't feel that bad. So whatever this is, I'm guessing it's maybe just a little 24, 48-hour cold thing. Maybe it'll last a couple days. Who knows? But I don't feel bad. Like I said, my first 2 meals went down super easy. Got some pretty good sleep. I've been getting nice and hydrated. All that kind of stuff. So, I don't feel bad. My muscles, I don't feel achy. I don't feel tired, anything like that. So, yeah. So I'm heading to the gym. But yeah, that's my little rant for it. Again, guys, just be smart. You'll know if you can work out or not. If you know if you're just forcing yourself to go to the gym and your body's in a really bad spot and it's just I'm just forcing myself just so it's that mental thing, that's just not a smart play. You know what I mean? That's not a smart play, because I promise you it's only going to work to your detriment, and it's going to take you longer to actually recover from feeling better if you're just beating up your body more and more and more. So please keep that in mind. Regardless, what do we got on the docket today for our actual pull session? Well, let's run through it real quick. Okay. So up first, we got a good old school lat pull down. Can't get any simpler than that. I feel like the lat pull down, unfortunately, kind of gets a bad rap nowadays. Where you gotta do these, single arm lat pull down things. And again, I do some single arm work, unilateral work for sure. I think it's great, and it has, everything has its, place for sure. But lat pull downs done correctly are phenomenal for lat development and for back development in general. You know what I mean? I'm not telling you to go under, get under the handle and just yank and crank weight down to your nose and just do like this. No, that's not going to do much for you. It's going to do something, just not as much as something else. But any movement done correctly, where you can actually hit the body part you're trying to hit, is effective. So use it. Don't let anybody tell you can't do a lat pull down. You know what I mean? Or a barbell row, or whatever, or maybe even something that has not the best perfect, most textbook form. If it works for you and you're doing it and you're getting progress off of it, do it. So I got a lat pull down first. Then we have a chest supported row. And we have a chest supported row where the hands are pronated in this one. So with the palms facing down instead of being in a neutral grip here, we have them, pronated down like that. So kind of more like a bicycle grip, but kind of a relatively, not want to say close grip, but you'll see, not super far outside of like where the hands would draw back to the rib cage, put it that way. After that, what do we got? That, I have it written in my, I'm having a brain fart right now. What do we have after that? Why am I forgetting here? We have, because I know I end with a single arm cable row. Oh, yes, chest supported row, and then we have an incline dumbbell row. Geez, yeah, because that's still a newer one. I've had a total brain fart there. Incline dumbbell row with a, off an incline bench, of course, chest supported. And then after that, to end the back portion, we have a single arm cable row. That one with the hand in a slightly supinated position. I know I'm using big fancy scientific terms, but whatever. I mean, a lot of you probably know what that means anyways. But so if you had like your hand on a hammer grip like this, you just kind of slightly turn it in. That's where I feel like I can drive through the lat pretty well. And then after that, we have some machine rear delt flies. And then we move into our bicep work, which is just a bilateral dumbbell hammer curl, meaning that we're actually curling both dumbbells at the same time. I know a lot of curling movements are like one arm unless it's like a machine. But I've actually found that doing it two arms has helped me kind of cut my ego a little bit, and I'm slightly bringing the dumbbells towards each other at the top as well, and I've been getting some really, really good pumps and connectivity with the muscle from that movement in particular. Again, the biggest part of that kind of just helping me remove the ego for sure. And then after that, we have some single arm cable curls. And we have abs today. So we do have some abs. I won't film abs, guys. Again, it's just like the same thing with calves. I tend to not film kind of like, I don't want to call it accessory work, but stuff that I train multiple times per week like that. It's just, unless you guys want me to, drop a comment below if you want me to film that stuff, I can for sure. I'm just doing some heavy rope crunches. So again, really nothing. Nothing spectacularly fancy, man. Just some good old school heavy rope crunches. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm only a minute or so away from the gym, so I'm going to power this intro down and get in there, get a good warm up in, get everything nice and loose and limber, get some good blood flow going, and go from there. So, top set of some lat pull downs coming at you right about now.
All right, so starting out with the good old lat pull down. You guys will see, because this is actually from a couple weeks ago, almost a month, about a month ago now, actually. Is it to the day? No, it's a little over a month ago that this session was filmed. So again, I still have a handful of weeks of material to upload to you guys. But regardless, at this point, I was still doing the lat pull down first. You will see, in my current training block, so you'll see that a couple weeks from now. You'll see that I actually am starting with a single arm row. So it's the same rowing variation I was already doing in this pull A session. But you'll see that is now first. And then I actually do a close grip pull down at the very end. So regardless though, 2 working sets there, felt really good. Then of course we still have this as our second exercise, was just a chest supported row. With this row we have a horizontal grip. We're gripping about shoulder width apart, and actually I would argue inside shoulder width, and we are driving those elbows back through the back. Again, this is definitely more tailored towards the mid-upper back. You're absolutely going to get a little bit of lats, but if you're looking for more of that density and thickness through the traps and rhomboids and mid-back and all that kind of fun jazz, this is exactly where you want to be. So again, that chest or that sternum never leaves the pad. We are just pulling with the arms back through the back, but pulling with the back, of course, utilizing the arms to have that leverage, but pulling with the back, Then we have a chest supported dumbbell row, very old school exercise here, guys. A couple weeks ago, I did this exercise and I could just not get my footing. So it's nice watching a session where I did have decent footing. The only difference I had here is I did try to make this more of like an upper back movement, but to be honest with you, I kind of like this grip a little bit more. I feel like I felt this one a little bit more. It was a little bit more neutral. I think I'm going to go back to that. So 2 working sets here. Then here's that single arm row I was telling you about that was in this session at the end of my pull A session, but in my current training block, it is actually right smack dab, not in the middle, but first. 2 working sets here. Again, we're keeping that those rep ranges in a proper range, but I'll tell you, with having this exercise first now, like I am definitely trying to pull some weight. So not that we want our form to get sloppy, but you're seeing those rep numbers, really hover in that 6 to 8 range for the most part for this exercise. So nice and heavy, get a good hard squeeze through the lat, drive that elbow back at least parallel to the side of the body. You can go behind if you would like. I prefer to just go parallel. That's my take. Again, you do what feels most comfortable for you. So 2 working sets there with both arms. Then some good old rear delt flies. Again, I feel like people have this misconception of, you should only do sets of 20 or 25 or 30. Keep the reps super, super high, rest periods super, super low. Look, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. I just wouldn't be afraid to train these in that 6, 8, 10, 12, rep range or so. Especially if you can find that top weight where you can hit it for 10 and then maybe do like a set or 2 on top of that of some myo rep match sets where you just got to do a bunch of little mini breaks till you hit 2 more additional sets of 10. Hey, I think that's great. Especially with a very stubborn muscle like the rear delts, I think that is awesome and could potentially be very helpful. I think it's helpful for me. I think it can be helpful for you as well. So think about it. Give it a whirl. Then we have some good old dumbbell hammer curls, but we are doing these bilaterally, meaning we are curling both dumbbells at the same time. What I like to do is I actually like to push my elbows slightly back. You can kind of see that the elbows are more towards the kind of almost behind the body, just ever so slightly. And we're bringing those dumbbells up towards each other, kind of coming to chest level here. This felt really good and, is a phenomenal mass building exercise for the arms for sure. So, again, this is 3 working sets of this one, and I do utilize a lot of myo rep match sets for this bad boy for sure. So, feels really good. And again, not something where you have to do curls in that 15, 20 rep range, guys. If that's more comfortable for you and you notice great growth, well, then absolutely do that. But for me, going a little bit heavier, keeping in that 8 to 12 rep range for a couple working sets, it seems to be kind of the sweet spot. So, anyways, then ended this pull session with some 1-arm cable curls. Again, facing away from the machine. We have a little bit of a different variation. Same general exercise, but a little bit of a different variation right now in my training sessions. Just kind of the way that I'm angling my body and where I'm kind of keeping the arm. It's called a Bayesian curl, I believe. Just kind of giving it a whirl. Saw John Jewett do it, and I'm like, man, I could tweak this variation to work that in. So I have been. Anyways. So again, 2 working sets here for a total of 5 working sets of direct bicep work. Obviously, we're going to be working a little bit of biceps with the back work as well, but definitely don't ignore, even if you have big arms, don't ignore throwing in some direct work. So always a benefit. Anyways, see you in the outro.
Pull B session in the friggin' books. And see, look, guys, that's exactly why even sometimes when you don't feel that good, you go and you work out. That was a phenomenal session. I will say, throws a little thrashed from grunting and burp and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, one of those things, man. Again, definitely glad I went to the gym today for sure. Glad I got in there and got after it. Now, I do still have core and cardio later. We're gonna see how I feel. I most likely will still do core and cardio. I don't see why I wouldn't. So we do have that after meal number 4. I just hit meal number 3 at the gym. It's just about 2:30 right now, so we'll have meal number 4 about 4:30. And then an hour and a half after that is when we'll do some core and cardio later on, as long as I'm feeling A-okay. And go from there. That's the plan for the rest of the day. So a lot of PRs were hit, even with feeling under the weather. Stuff was moving and grooving how I wanted it to for the most part. So I got no complaints. I got no complaints about that session, man. It was a great session. It was a lot of fun, and felt strong. Felt surprisingly strong for not feeling good. Sometimes when you're sick, either you get in there and you absolutely just crush it, and it's like, heck yeah. And then other times when you're sick, you get in there and you just feel like death. Today was one of those, went in there and just crushed it kind of days, so I was very happy with that for sure. Yeah, phenomenal stuff, man. Because my throat's bugging me, I'm going to probably just kind of cut it there at this point. But regardless, make sure if you have not already, you hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, guys. It means a lot to the channel and our continued growth. So thank you guys so much for following along. And if you have not already, make sure you like and share the video. Let your friends know about the Natty Teacher. Let everybody know about the Natty Teacher. Drop any comments, questions, or feedback you got down in the comment section below. When I see it, I will answer it, I promise you. And other than that, guys, hey, God bless. And I'm the Natty Teacher. And from myself and the whole Natty family, this episode of Road to Natty Pro is out. I'll catch y'all on the next one.